sisters, Christmas is a day full of joy and glory, love and happiness to all people around the world. Everyone welcomes Christmas and New Year on their ways and in their conditions to share the grace and blessing of Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas 2020 and Happy New Year 2021 to all of lecturers, staff, and students of Atma Jaya. Since we are not allowed to celebrate Christmas and New Year together due to pandemic situation, we would like to fill your holidays with joys and hopes with the story of the little Max girl, some songs and dances performed by the students of English Education Department, UNIKA, Atma Jaya. Happy watching!
It was New Year's Eve and dreadfully cold. The snow fell quickly in the darkening light as evening came on. In the cold and the darkness, there walked along the street a poor little girl, bareheaded and with no shoes on. When she left home she had slippers on, it is true, but they were much too large for her feet. Her mother had used those slippers till then, but the poor little girl lost them running across the street when two carriages were passing quickly by. When she looked for them, one was not to be found, and a boy grabbed the other and ran away with it. So on the little girl went with her bare feet that were red and blue with cold. In an old apron that she wore she had bundles of matches, and she also carried a bundle in her hand. No one had bought so much as a bunch all long day, and no one had given her even a penny. Poor little girl! Shivering with cold and hunger she crept along, feeling miserable. The snowflakes fell on her long hair, which hung in pretty curls about her neck. But she did not think of her beauty or of the cold. Light shone from every window, and she could smell the beautiful smell of roast goose being cooked for New Year's Eve in all the houses. She could not stop thinking about it.
In a corner between two houses, she sat down. She tucked her little feet in underneath herself. But still, she grew colder and colder. She did not dare to go home as she had not sold any matches and could not bring any money. Her father certainly would not be pleased. Besides, it was cold enough at home, as they had only a roof above them that was full of holes. Now, her little hands were nearly frozen with cold. She thought that maybe a match might warm her fingers if she lit it. So at last she drew one out. She struck it, and how it blazed and burned. It gave up a warm, bright flame like a little candle as she held her hands over it. A wonderful little light it was. It really seemed to the little girl as if she sat in front of a great iron stove with a lovely fire inside it. So nicely it burned that the little girl stretched out her feet to warm them. How comfortable she was. But then the flame went out. The stove vanished, and nothing remained but the little burnt match in her hand. She rubbed another match against the wall. It burned brightly, and where the light fell on the wall, she could suddenly see right through it into the room. A snow-white cloth was spread upon the table. which were laid beautiful china plates, while a stuffed roast goose cooked away and made a most delicious smell. And what was more delightful still, and wonderful, the goose jumped from the dish and, with knife and fork still in his breast, waddled along the floor straight towards the little girl. But the match went out then, and nothing was left to her but the thick, damp hole.
And at last I see the light, and it's like the fog has lifted. And at last I see the light, and it's like the sky is blue, and it's warm and real and bright, and the world has somehow shifted. All at once, everything looks different now that I see you.
She lit another match, and now she was under a most beautiful Christmas tree, larger and far more prettily decorated than the ones she had seen through the glass doors at the rich merchants. Hundreds of candles were burning on the green branches, and little painted figures, like she had seen in shop windows, looked down on her. The child stretched out her hands to them, but then the match went out. Still, the lights of the Christmas tree burned higher and higher into the sky until she saw one fall, forming a long trail of fire. "Now someone is dying," murmured the child softly, for her grandmother, the person who had loved her the most and who is now dead, had told her that whenever a star falls, a soul goes up to heaven.
When you is upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you.
She struck yet another match against the wall. It lit, and its brightness, her dear old grandmother appeared before her, beaming love and kindness. "Oh, grandmother," cried the child, "take me with you. I know you will go away when the match runs out. You too will vanish, just like the warm stuff, the splendid New Year's feast at a beautiful Christmas tree." And to make sure her grandmother would not disappear, she lit a whole bundle of the matches against the wall. And they burned with such a brilliant light that it became brighter than the midday sun. Her grandmother had never looked so grand and beautiful. She took the little girl in her arms, and both flew joyfully together, climbing higher and higher, far above the earth, away from cold and hunger, to heaven. They found her the next morning, leaning against the wall, with bright cheeks and smiling mouth, frozen to death mercifully although here. She wanted to walk herself, the poor little thing, people said. But I wonder why she looked so happy, some people asked. No one imagined what beautiful things she had seen or how happily she had gone with her grandmother into the new year.
A wonderful little light it was, the poor little girl thought to herself. That is exactly what Christmas means to us in this pandemic situation. That light might not be as bright as it used to be, but even the slightest spark could bring joy to ourselves, families, and communities. The little March girl has taught us that even the smallest act of love could bring the brightest smile of every person's face as long as we are willing to share it, especially for those who need it most, like the homeless, orphans, the elder, and the disabled. Thank you for watching this video. May the light of Christmas bring peace and new spirit to every one of us. Let us enjoy the closing performance presented by the students of English Education Department.
We wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Christmas tree. I just want you for my own, more than you